All right, folks, here we go with game two of the 2022 Intermediate Invitational Playoffs match for these TAC tournament, where these two players, Ineria and AUP21, are playing for the third place spot. And Mediocre Taborlin and Raymond are in the finals, going for that first place spot as we speak. By as we speak, I mean later this evening. And then currently, we're going to see this game two, this time with Ineria in white and AUP21 in black. And we saw Ineria squeak out a sneaky road win that AUP21 didn't see, even though he was in the lead for basically the whole game. And now we're going to see if Ineria can close the deal and win as white here. So coming right into game two of Ineria versus AUP21. All right, we see A1 played first. And adjacent corners, will Ineria go for the Knights opening? Nope, going to go for center control here. Will black go for the center control mirrored opening, as we're seeing? White's probably going to play here. No, instead going to be playing this diagonal approach. We did see that work pretty well for Mediocre Taborlin in his finals game recently. So maybe Ineria is taking some inspiration from him. Now we see white keep building here. Black now does have momentum in going for this vertical threat, as white did play off to the side here before going for this line. So now black can sort of push and decide how this game goes, force some captures out of white. Black likely going to play up here at c5 on this turn. And then this, after c5 is played, that's likely going to result in some sort of capstone placement from white, maybe playing here at b4 or at b3, sound like the most likely moves, maybe even at b2. Pluto the Brave in the chat saying Ineria making him proud, playing that diagonal opening. Apparently Pluto has been doing that quite a bit. All right, black did play at c5. Are we going to see a capstone along here on the b line, or are we going to see something else played? Yep, capstone right there at b4. This is where black most likely going to play over here at d5. This sort of line of these two middle lines here, and then the capstone played off to the side, very common in the mirrored opening, which we talk about in the openings video of TAC University. Black dropping a capstone in a really strong position, able to come left or down and interrupt what white's building. Black decides to go for that vertical threat. White captures over to break it. Now, black comes over left with the capstone. This works for a horizontal threat. White then fills in at e3 to stop that from being an immediate connection. Black plays up here at e4 to stop white from building for this vertical threat, but also to build for their own horizontal, maybe playing here at f3 on the following turn. This is where white could continue to play up here, and they do play up there at f4. Now, black likely going to play at f3, so they can make that connection, make that anchor point here. But white really wants to play and move a left with that f4. So black plays there. Black wants to play here at b1 on the following turn. White wants to come left, maybe not now, but maybe playing at f2 or at e1 first. I like f2 better. But white instead playing over here at b1, playing a little too defensive for me, I think. I think that's a little too defensive here. I think white needed to play at f2. Okay, they do play at f2 now. Now, white can make attack threat on the next turn by playing at d6. Black can make attack threat now by playing at a2 or by capturing down onto b1. What is the play for black here? Does play at a2, makes the attack threat. White's got to respond to this, and they probably respond with f4 left. No, instead an f4 minus. Interesting play. We may even see black toss this over onto f3. This capstone, d3, 2d3 right 1-1. I don't think so, but I mean it is a possibility. 2d3 right 1-1, that is portable tak notation, or PTN. And we do talk about that in the PTN, or portable tak notation, video of Tak University. Black instead dropping a wall here, ready to come down onto f3 and liberate that captive and make some positive flak on differential moves. Got a +3 move available after that capture, so that's really good. And if you're confused about what I mean by +3 or +2 move, we do talk about that in the FCD, or flat count differential, video of Tak University. Okay, so we see white playing up at d6, just continuing to go for this vertical threat, which I find interesting. They can't make a threat with any capture right now, but they can make one by placing an e5 on the following turn. An e5 placement would work. But black wants to come down onto f3, and I think that would work out just fine, coming down onto f3 like that. Sure enough, that's what we see. Now, white could... Oh, white goes for the capture instead. So this is a tak threat now from white. Black likely going to move this capstone either down for the +3 move or left for the +2 move and cutting off that. It's tough to say. I'd say the game is pretty even right now. Black has these captives to recover, where it has a few more liabilities. So that's working out nice in black's favor. White has a pretty strong position over here, though. We'll see how it turns out and how this unfolds with black's wall and capstone here right in the middle of this strong foundation. We'll see how that plays out. But, oh, goes for the +3 move. If we're following what white's been doing lately, I think we might be seeing an e1 placement here on the following turn to continue the threat. No, we're instead seeing the d4. So, okay, this forces a capture from black because white can come down here and place either at e1 or at d1. So there's no just flat placement that'll stop this. This does force a capture from black. Black can capture up with the capstone, right with the capstone, left with f2, or right with c5. Any of those would do it. Those would all work, but those are the only ones that do work. So 1, 2, 3, 4 possible moves to stop this threat right now. And notice again that Ineria is taking far less time per turn than AUP21. Ineria is still above that 15-minute mark, while AUP21 is down to about 12 minutes. So black did go for that c5 right move, cutting off above, which I think is the strongest of moves that that black could make there, because it does force white to think about what move to make next. Now I guess switching gears to the horizontal threat, placing at f3. This now anchors on the horizontal side, going to be playing off to the left. Interesting play to go for that horizontal line, but I like the shifting of priorities and the shifting of gears here. I think that works really well. White does have momentum here, so white can still play over here at b4, make that tak threat. Black has to respond. But white's got to be careful that they're not setting themselves up for failure to get stuck in some sort of Tinue situation. White taking their time now. They've built up that little time buffer. Now they can take a little bit of time to look through, make sure they can make this happen. They're playing here at b3. Now this is a fairly defensive play because now white can bring b3 down onto b2 and cut off black's horizontal line that they're going for. And I think that works pretty well for what white wants to do here. White can continue to build again over at b4 on the following turn, now knowing that they have that option available to them to really cut that off right there. I think that was a smart play. Pretty defensive, working really well. Not maintaining the momentum right away, but I think that'll work out for him. I think that dropping here at b3 still maintains the momentum, actually. I don't think black can make a... Okay, they can make one threat by doing e1 plus. So black technically does have momentum here. What's black's play here? I like the idea of black dropping a wall here at e5. I think that just sounds really good to me. Being able to come down onto e4 and liberate those captives, make the threat at the same time with that spread downward. I think that's just really strong, and I think that that wall there at e5 would really pay off for him in the long run. And that is using a wall in an offensive manner. There's a lot of ways to use walls, and the best ways, in my opinion, are offensively. And we talk about that in the walls or standing stones video of Tak University. Black playing up at a3, and then we're seeing white play at a4. This is a tak threat for white. White may look to be just defensively playing here to keep black from going for this threat, and instead they are playing for that horizontal line. Black sees it, plays up with that capstone, cutting that off. I think white's got to be tempted to just fill in here at d3. Yep, the d3. What is black's play here? White was able to get a sneaky win in the previous game. I know that black is definitely taking more time per turn to be able to spot those threats and not lose to some sort of sneaky threat here. I like white's position. I think that it's pretty strong. I think what black wants to do still, black might want to just capture over with this capstone now onto e4 and use that to spread down onto e3 and e2. Maybe play at d1 first. No, it's going to be playing e1 plus, making a sneaky road threat of his own. Throwing this down onto d2 would be a road. I think black is just hoping that white misses that so he can win with his own sneaky threat. But I don't think that's going to happen here. I think Ineria is going to spot that. And if you'll notice, white does have two flats next to it, will win any sort of capture war that occurs. So if black comes left with f2, white can come down with e3. They might not want to do that, but I think that that's probably the best way to do it. Just because if they drop a wall here or here, then black can spread upwards for that positive flag on differential move, and nobody wants that. Well, I mean, black wants that. Now this is black's turn to think, okay, what am I going to do here? Probably a wall at d2. That makes a lot of sense. Or capturing right with the capstone, threatening this stack with their own capstone stack. Oh, they go with the wall at d2. Now this wall can come over onto e2 and then spread upwards, recover this other captive. Okay, can't do that now. Now white has got this horizontal tak threat. that black needs to address. And the obvious move would be to move this wall up onto d3, but black really wants this wall to be able to capture here onto e2. But I do think this is the best move. I think d2 plus is the best move here. And then after d2 plus, kind of no matter what white does, you can bring the d3 wall stack to the right onto e3 and then threaten both of these. But if black takes this wall up, white probably will spread this stack left onto d2 and c2. Maybe that's what'll happen. Or will white play up, go for a vertical threat, able to toss this all the way onto b2? That would be pretty sneaky. And again, let's notice the time difference, about 5.5 minutes between these two players, and 5.5 minutes is a really big buffer. Ineria has been playing very quickly this game, building up that time buffer so that she can use that later on. And this, right around here, it'll move 20 or 22 or so on the 6x6 size, is really where this game starts to unfold and all these different options start popping up, and the board state can change drastically. And we see that a lot with lots of stacks and walls and capstone movements and captures and recapture sequences. That is very common around the 20 to 24 moves that happen so often. And so I think we're going to see some big changes in the game right now. We do see that wall stack come right onto e3, ready to capture down. Likely wants to capture down more than capture up. Capturing down gives him more options for recaptures and for positive flag on differential moves. Also gives him an option for a tack threat, and white has 2 white flats here, so it's a stronger piece for white, so definitely wants to go for that. So if I'm white, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I need to spread this out to the left onto d2 and c2. And that's exactly what she does. And she'd already placed this at d2 to be able to win this capture war on c2. Now, it may look like white would lose the capture war onto c2 because we got black, black, and black. That's 3, as opposed to white's 2 here to capture over. But if black captures down and white takes the whole stack, goes left 1, 1, then suddenly it changes to only having 1 extra flat to come up, and then white can come back over. So it does end up winning for white on a capture war basis. A little trick for capture wars. Ineria down just below 13 minutes on the clock, and AUP21 at 6.5. Black just playing a flat there at d3. Interesting. How is that going to work out? White now playing over at e2. Now, I'm not sure about that move. I think that that gives black the opportunity to bring this wall down and threaten this c2 stack again. I don't think that white wants that. I think that that e2 might have been a mistake here. Now, when looking at capture wars, we did talk about captures and basically how that stuff works out in a Tak University video called Captures. So that is a good one to check out. It mostly deals with what to do, what not to do in a lot of situations in terms of flat captures, things like that. But I don't think I covered this sort of situation. It doesn't pop up too often. But I guess that would be an advanced capture wars, advanced captures topic to cover. All right, black now building up here at e5, able to make a tack threat on the following turn by playing here at f5. Oh, except now white immediately brings that capstone down. I like it. The capstone coming down is pretty strong because now this is a tack threat in the horizontal direction coming down with f3. Or white can smash this stack on e3 to get those back if black does something like move this stack to the right onto f3. White can go over and smash it and recover a lot of captives and get a lot of strength in that stack. So pretty good position now. White does have that tack threat. Black's got to respond somehow. They may respond by moving over here, or bringing this own wall stack up onto f2 would also work. Now, if white had a white flat at the bottom here, they could leave behind a white flat and smash here for a road, but they don't have that. So if they do move across, they won't be able to maintain that connection here. Black now down to 4.5 minutes on the clock. Having a tough time of it. And again, if Ineria does win this game, she will take third place in this Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament of 2022. Down below 4 minutes on the clock now. AUP21 struggling to come up with a good move here. Does decide to move that wall stack over. This is very tempting for white to be able to smash here. I don't think that she's going to do it, but she very well may. I think instead we might see white play up at b5 or at a5, go for this vertical threat here, because throwing this to the right gives black the opportunity to come down with the capstone and block this. Actually, yeah, coming down with the capstone would block it. And I don't think that that white wants to get black's capstone into the mix of things. I think white wants to keep things the way they are, where white is in the lead here. Instead, playing a flat here now, another tack threat. Playing up here at f4 would be a road, so black's got to stop that now. They could do that with just a simple flat placement at f4, but it is nice positioning to just be able to drop a flat, run down your reserves, keep this game going towards the end. If we take a look at the flat count here, we see 10 for white, 11 for black. So black is in the lead when it comes to flat count. Black dropping a wall. They're ready to come over and liberate those captives, make some more positive flat count differential moves. In terms of flats, it looks really nice for black at the moment. White can potentially do some damage here by coming over and smashing at f3. I don't think that she's going to do that, but I've been wrong before. White playing up here at b5, like I said earlier, going for that vertical direction, now switching gears, going for that line. I think it's a really smart play here. And white can continue to make these threats just by placing more and more flats. I think that's exactly what she wants to do. Keep black reacting and not let black make any moves that will advance his own position. Black would love to get his hands on this C2 stack here, but I don't think that's happening. I don't think white's going to allow that. Down below 3 minutes on the clock now. An area with 8 minutes of buffer time to be able to work through tough moves and make decisions. But when your opponent is low on time, it is also tempting to play quickly and force them to use more of their time to think and force them to make a mistake when the pressure is on. So that is very tempting to do. I know a lot of players play with that in mind sometimes if their opponent is low on time. I'm not sure how effective that'll be against AUP21. I don't know how much practice he has playing with low time, playing in blitz or anything like that. So that would be an interesting thing to see if that's the case. Down below 2 minutes now. Black playing a flat. I think we could see a C5, an A5, or an A6. Any of those make a lot of sense here. Also, a C6 makes sense. Basically, any of these four squares make a lot of sense for a white flat. Does play up at C6. Black playing at C5. I think white may decide to move this whole stack over onto B2. Go for that tack threat. Or maybe play at A6. I don't know. No. Going for D1. Why D1? I guess that's a tack threat now. Doesn't have to make a capture, can just place at D1. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good move. Playing at D1 does give her a threat in the vertical direction here. I like these moves from white. White is really pushing it. I think it's going to be really tough for black to get out of this mess. Black unable to even bring this capstone to bear on b4, because if they do, they leave behind a white flat, and that leads to white bringing b5 right for a road. Black comes down with b6, cutting that off, also building towards their own horizontal threat up here at the top. White now placing an a5, making their own vertical threat yet again. Will we see white place another flat or make some sort of capture onto b5? No, white's going to just fill in there at e1. Just push flats, push flats. Now black can place here at f5 and make their tack threat. No. Can they? Yeah, they can, right? Whoa, what was that? Oh, that's neat. That's a tack threat in the vertical direction here. But why? I think that loses, doesn't it? I think if white captures up with just b4 plus, I think that's... Yeah, this will lose, I think, for black. Maybe not immediately, but I'm pretty sure it does. That was... I don't know about that move. That 3d4 left 1-1-1 move. Let's look at this. They had this here and they throw it all the way here for that vertical threat when they could have just placed that f5 for a threat, which I think would have been much stronger. Unless I'm missing something. Would f5 have caused them to lose? I don't think so. Okay, they capture onto c2. Now I think white's going to capture left onto c2 with d2. Potentially tossing left. Yeah, I think tossing all the way over is the play. Don't go for that. They instead just play. I think that actually might open things up. I think c1 plus might be able to stop this long enough that it could work out for black, that they would survive. I think going 2d2 left 1-1 would have been Tinue, but now c1 plus works. Yeah, so if d2 left happens, then black can drop a wall and interrupt things. But we see d2 left, and then if black drops a wall here, white plays at e6, and then that's Tinue. I think. No, because then c5 left could happen. Oh, AUP21 is down to 20 seconds on the clock. He is really, really hurting for time. Ineria not pushing the time there, using her 10 minutes to an advantage right now. Now we've got to see a wall here, I think, but where's it going to be? No, we see him capture left, making that tack threat. White's going to come down with b6. She's got to do it. Come on, come down with b6. Oh man, down to 22 seconds on the clock. He's almost matching his name. Black is hurting right now. And he's got to be thinking as quick as he possibly can. It's so difficult when you're so low on time. And there's only 10-second increment here. White spreads left to stop the threat down below. Black spreads right to build for the horizontal. Black's not out of this yet. Black captures right. Now I think that's a strong move. Now black may be out of it. Because black can't capture left. Had to capture there. White's going to place down here at c1. Now white's got this vertical line yet again. White can now capture left or place at d2. White also down to 4 reserves left. Placing at d2 works. Renews the tack threat. I think something crazy would have to happen for white to not win this. So it looks like Ineria is going to be taking 3rd place in the 2022 Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament. She is climbing the ranks here after winning the beginner tournament last year. One of the beginner tournaments. All right, now we see white instead make that spread with that stack. Places a wall. White can just place at b1 or at a1 for the road. Well done. Congratulations to Ineria. Well played to both players. It was a lot of fun to watch these games. You guys played some great games, and congratulations to Ineria for winning 3rd place in the 2022 Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament. It was a lot of fun to watch these games, and we'll be sure to cover the finals games between Mediocre to Borland and Raymond later this evening. But thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things Tak, especially the Tak Discord server. which is where you can find all sorts of resources like strategy guides and people to play with at all times of day, really. And you can play them right here on playtak.com or over in the Discord server itself, playing asynchronously, playing just 5 minutes a day if you want to. Great way to get in some TAK if you don't have a lot of time to play. So thanks everybody again, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.